Alright, here we are for the third pack. The rare is Jace's Sanctum, which is not very good. So let's look elsewhere. Looks like there's no cards really in our colors that we want, which is pretty unfortunate. The Gear Crafter, like I said before, I think is pretty good, but we're obviously not looking to splash it or anything. Heavy Infantry I think is solid, but we have enough good 5-drops already, so I don't really want it. So as much as it pains me, I think I'm just going to first pick this Evolving Wilds. I'm not really happy about it, but it's the only card I really think I'm going to play. This pack looks similarly miserable for us. Kithian's Tactics doesn't seem that great. Could take this Bonded Construct, which I think is reasonable in an aggressive deck. But our deck isn't really looking to be like aggressive attack with a bunch of creatures. It's sort of like build up one big guy with our auras and whatnot, so might not be where we want to be. But the other alternative is just hate drafting something like a Claustrophobia, which is probably the best card in this pack. I think I'm going to take the Bonded Construct. If we get enough other 2-drops, we could end up playing it, so seems better than hate drafting. So this is interesting. So Gideon's Phalanx, which is, it costs 7 mana, but the effect is really powerful. Celerin Acros seems okay, but not like a huge effect. Stalwart Aven seems pretty good as well. Just a cheap flyer, renowned creature. Good target for all of our auras that we want to put on stuff. I'm leaning towards this Gideon Phalanx just because I know it's really strong. My only concern is that it's expensive, and we have a lot of expensive cards already. It's kind of a tough one. I think I'm just going to take the Stalwart Aven. Expensive cards are nice and all, but I kind of just want to see if we can take our enchantment sub-theme to the max and see if it's good. It seems better early in a format to test out all the different possibilities rather than just jamming a bunch of late game power into your deck. Rune Servitor is a bear. How many bears do we have right now? We have the 2 clerics, the consoles thing, and I think that's it. So I actually wouldn't mind just taking a random bear here, just to make sure we have a play on turn 2 consistently. Nothing for us here, it looks like. Foundry of the Consoles. Doesn't seem like a horrible card to just throw in your deck. It's more or less free. It is colorless, which is a thing. Our mana isn't that bad though. We do want double white for the Lieutenant on turn 1 or turn 2, and a couple double black spells. But the alternative is like Throwing Knife, which I don't think is that good. It's just like 4 mana to shock something. I guess it's not actually that bad when we've got cheap flying creatures. It's a good way to grow them into threats late, so I could end up playing it. Alright, looks like a easy Shambling Ghoul. Good aggressive 2-drop, right where we want to be. Anointer of Champions. Doesn't seem amazing. I like Read the Bones though. It's a good chance I play that, so I'll just take that here. Nothing really for us here. I guess I'll take a Rabid Bloodsucker and probably not play it, but you never know. It might end up being better than one of our other 5-drops. Heavy Infantry, similarly not going to play. Claustrophobia Wield, which is probably not correct. Aerial Volley could be good against us. Intuko Husk, sure. Alright, so it looks like we're nearing the end of the pack, so let's do some upkeep on our deck here. Don't think I'm playing the Bonded Construct. So we have 30 cards, we need to cut 7. So let's do a creature count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here, let's get the last few picks out of the way. Let me start over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, Not playing this. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, but we're probably going to cut a couple of these 5 drops. I'm not sure about this winnower. I'll probably try one copy of it rather than playing both Bloodsuckers, which I'm not sure is going to be as good. I mean, even if it's not destroying something right away, it seems like a decent effect. Menace, I think, could end up being better than it looks, especially if we have ways to enchant it so you can force the double block with like Infernal Scarring or whatever, and get some card advantage going. Totem Guide Heartbeast. It is card advantage, but it's not a really good body on its own. What's the best aura we can get? There's like Weight of the Underworld if we need removal, or basically just Infernal Scarring. Or I guess Suppression Bonds is pretty good as well. Yeah, I think it's good enough to include, but we probably need to cut another card for it. I'm leaning towards not playing this Languish, just because it kills basically everything in my deck, which seems like a thing I don't really want to do. So that leaves us with 25 cards. Let's do another creature count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That's pretty good. So that means we have 9 spells, so we either have to go 14-9 or 15-8. I could see cutting the Throwing Knife, which is strong with a lot of our cards, but we already have auras sort of fulfilling that role. I think cards like Mighty Leap are going to be a little bit better. It's kind of interesting. Throwing Knife actually doesn't seem that bad. It's just the equip cost I'm worried about, because we have a lot of expensive stuff going on. I think I am going to play Read the Bones. Just seems very strong. I'm gonna try out the Throwing Knife just because I want to see how good it is, and I'm gonna cut the Mighty Leap, even though I don't know if that's correct, just because we have a lot of other ways to enhance our creatures, even though they are all sorcery speed, like the Infernal Scarring. So yeah, I think this is gonna be my deck. We have 1 Evolving Wild, so we can just play. And we actually don't have a ton of black spells, so we could probably go 9 Plains, 7 Swamp. We only need double black for the Winnower anyway, so that seems correct. So let's go 9, 7. Throw a couple extra in the sideboard, and let's take this into some matches.